Alrighty. We got mic set up. I'm going to do this until Justin gets here. That should be good enough. Lord willing, it stays like this.
We live in a day and age. We live in a day and age where barbaric sacrifice of the preborn is happening, not only in our nation, but also in our state. Not only in our state, but also in this city. Coming the 5th of November, there is going to be Amendment 3 on the ballot. Amendment 3 will make it legal for a woman to murder her child in the womb. May we not be like the nations of the past, the people of the past, the communities of the past that have turned a blind eye, that have pretended as though this is not happening. As it says in Leviticus 20, God says that if any one of you, if any of the populace or a sojourner, a visitor amongst you, do so ever offer their child to Molech, offer their child off for sacrifice. If any one of you do that, surely they will die. They are deserving of death because God has viewed life to be so precious that if you impose your will upon someone else, your life is owed. And also to the community, God has brought forth a charge. God has brought forth a charge to the community that if any one of them turn a blind eye, pretend as though as if it's not happening, they say nothing about it, God will also cut them off from the people. They will also be deserving of death because they have been silent to the outcries of the preborn, to the outcries of the vulnerable, to the outcries of the innocent. Back in those days of Leviticus 20, when children were being offered off to the idols, the screams could be heard of the children being sacrificed, and they had to play drums just to drown out the sound of the innocent. And today, the innocent, they cry out, their land is covered in blood. The people of this nation, the people of this state, the people of this city, why are you so complicit? Why are you okay with the sacrifice of innocents? May we not be that people. May we not be the people that God looks down and turns his back from us. He cuts us off. May we not be that people. May we be the people that seek to honor and glorify God in all of his precepts, all of his statutes. We have an idea today that just because someone is sized differently, just because someone is in a different stage of development, that gives us the right to murder them. We live in a day and age where a certain group of people can take the life of a different group of people with no consequence. What does that say about our society when we look in history past and we say those were moral evils? How you doing today, brother? You know Jesus Christ, sir? No, I hope you're repent, sir. May we not be the hypocritical people that we look in history past and say that what German history past and American and British history past, what they had done was evil. Made in the image of God. Those people were othered. Those people were dehumanized. We've set them in a different category. And that is exactly what is happening today to our preborn. Coming November 5th, there will be on the ballot Amendment 3. It's underneath the guise of women's health care. It's underneath the guise of women's reproductive rights. I say to you people, murder is not health care. No one has the right to take the life of an innocent. May we not be the people that God looks down and turns his back against us. We are in a judgment state right now. We are in a condition of judgment from God. May we no longer be that. We can turn from our wickedness. We can turn from our idolatry. We can turn from our standing for unrighteous laws, unrighteous decrees. As it says in Isaiah 10, woe to those who decree iniquitous decrees. May we not be the people that stand for unrighteous laws, that stand for unequal weights and measures. We say it's okay to murder this class of people, but not okay to murder a different class. Why is that? Sin has tainted our hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, may we not be like the nations of the past that God has judged. Listen, folks, Amendment 3 is going to be on the ballot this coming November. Amendment 3 will bring forth abortion to make it enshrined in the Missouri Constitution. It would make it so that a mom with malicious intent, with evil desires, with hatred in her heart, a mom can go to a clinic and have this done to her child. That opens the door to partial birth abortions. If you're not sure what a partial birth abortion would be, it's exactly that. The child is partially born. The skull is crushed. The skull is exposed outside of the womb, outside of the birth canal, and it is crushed. And there is suction to remove the parts. And limbs are ripped limb from limb and then placed on a table just to make sure that the assassin, the abortionist, this wicked person, this hitman, to make sure that this person has gotten all the parts of this human being out of the mother's womb. How wicked is that we live in a society where we say that is okay? What is so different from the child in the womb from the child outside the womb? If you say that the child inside the womb and the child out are the same exact, are both made in the image of God, both deserving of equal rights and equal protection, if you say that the child in the womb and the child out of the womb are the exact same, save for their location, their size, their development, their dependency, then why is it okay to murder this group instead of that group? Why is it okay to take the life of a child in the womb, but when we think about a child's life being taken that is outside the womb, we reel back, we pull back, we grimace, we cringe, we wince. We think that that is evil, but when it's proposed the idea of a child being murdered inside the womb, we're like, it's a difficult situation. You got to think about the mom. Okay, think about the baby. What about the baby? Oftentimes we are told, what about the mom? You got to think about the mom. You got to think about her circumstances. Okay, let's play that out logically. What about the baby? You got to think about the baby. You got to think about the baby's circumstances. Oftentimes, the answer to a possible life of endangerment of that child is just to simply endanger that child to death. We think it's okay to murder the child inside the womb to save them from a possible torturous life. We don't know. We are playing the role of God when we have no right to do so. We don't know what's going to happen. We are simply here, people, to expose the truth of the evil that is happening in our midst, as it says in Ephesians 5:11. As the people of God, we are called not to partake in evil, but to expose the evil in our midst, to expose the evil that is happening around us. This is the truth of child sacrifice. This is the truth of the evil that is happening in this state, in this city, in this nation. There is no state in which abortion is completely banned. There are no criminal laws against abortion. The act of abortion is not criminalized because there is a certain class of people, just because of their gender, they can literally get away with murder. We often joke about how certain people are privileged. We have discussions about a privileged class. I say to you that there is a class of people that are privileged, so privileged that they can literally get away with murder. And they are applauded. Or we say, it's a difficult matter. If you truly value life, if you truly stand for human rights, then stand for the neighbor. Stand for the most innocent amongst us. It is a gruesome image. If you do not want to see it, then fight with us. Stand with us to get this evil abolished. Stand with us to get this evil criminalized, to make it actually illegal for all those who murder. Why is it that we say that a certain class of people can murder another class of people? Why is it that we can say that just because of someone's experiences, that gives them the right to murder someone else? Just because of a traumatic event. Why compound trauma? When you compound trauma, things worsen. May we not be the people that are okay with compromise. May we not be a people that are okay with complacency for a wicked act. God has said in Leviticus 20 that not only those that are amongst the people, but also the visitor, the sojourner, the foreigner that is in that land, not only the people of that land deserve death, the ones that offer their child off to Molech, but also those that turn their eyes, that don't speak out against it, that do not bring forth justice to that innocent child. God has told us that we are not to stand for unequal weights and measures. We are not to stand for unjust laws. Coming November 5th, there's going to be on the ballot an amendment. Amendment 3 will make it legal for a woman to murder her child in the state of Missouri. May we not be a people that are okay with this. May we stand up for the preborn. We are called to cry out. We are called to stand up for the destitute. We are called to fight for those that are defenseless. When we have a group of people that are oppressed, the people of God are to cry out to expose the truth of the evil that is happening. God has said in Isaiah 10, woe to the oppressors. Woe to those that decree iniquitous decrees. Woe to those who make laws that are unrighteous. And woe to those that stand and support those unrighteous laws. We have a people today that are okay with the murder, with the sacrifice of innocence. But when it comes to the innocence outside the womb, we have an issue. But the innocence inside the womb, we're quiet. Why is that? Why are we quiet when it comes to the most vulnerable amongst us? November 5th, we are to vote no on Amendment 3. Amendment 3 is murder. Amendment 3 is torture. Amendment 3 rips limb from limb. November will be a turning point in our state's history. It'll make it in the Constitution for a mom with no consequence whatsoever at any point in time and anywhere in Missouri to murder her child. May we not be a people that is okay with that. Why do we stand up against this? Why do we stand up against the evil? Because God says. Why is taking the life of a child inside a womb considered murder? Because God says. God has knitted us together in our mother's womb. He has known our most inward parts. That is referring to the moment of conception, when cells start to split and multiply, continuing on to the zygotes, continuing on to the blastocytes, continuing on to the embryonic stage, and also continue on to birth. From the moment of conception, made in the image of God, human being. You cannot refute it theologically, you cannot refute it biologically. It is impossible to state anything against it theologically or biologically. It is a fact, made in the image of God, human from the moment of conception. We are not allowed to murder. And that's what Amendment 3 will bring forth in the Missouri Constitution coming this November. Vote no on the murder of children. This is what's coming to Missouri, possibly this election in November. The constitutional right for a mother to do this to her child. That's going to be on the ballot this November. It's going to be Amendment 3. Amendment 3 is underneath the guise of women's health care, women's reproductive rights. And I say to you, there is no health care when it comes to murder. Murder is not health care. No one has the right to murder someone else. Murder should be illegal for everyone. Yes, ma'am. Well, this is referring to abortion.
Yeah, but whenever they have miscarriages, like, I've had one and it looks similar.
Right.
I just
Sure,
want
but
to let you know, just the
right,
picture,
and
not the, like, speaking with the picture itself.
well, the picture is referring to if there is a murder, where's the body?
I'm just
So
saying,
we're exposing the
the
truth.
miscarriage is similar in that aspect.
Right, sure, but it's referring to loving your neighbor. Ephesians 5:11 says that we are to call out evil, that we are to stand up against oppressors. Ephesians 5:11 says that we are to not partake in evil, but we are to expose the evil in our midst. This is what we are doing out here today. There are those that are more triggered by the picture than the actual act that the picture represents. Sure, yes, this might be similar to a miscarriage, this picture, but this is not what this picture is referring. Miscarriage is not the murder of an innocent child. A miscarriage is just when a child just dies without human intervention. That is a sad thing. And so is murder, so is abortion. So just because this picture could also represent something else does not mean it makes it any less true. This is what happens when it comes to abortion. A child is brutalized to death, mutilated. There are also situations where a child's skull is crushed in the child's mother's womb. Partial birth abortion. That's what's going to happen when it comes to November. The ballot initiative, Amendment 3, vote no. If you are for human rights, if you think all humans deserve protection, vote no on Amendment 3. Coming this November on the ballot, Amendment 3, this is what's going to happen if that amendment passes. On the ballot, Amendment 3 is underneath the guise of women's health care or women's reproductive rights. I say to you, murder is not health care, and no one has the right to murder someone else. We live in a day where it's okay for a certain class of people to murder a different class of people, a different group of people. Why is that so? Why is it okay for us to murder this group of people but not this group of people? Let us be consistent. If you are okay with murdering one group of people, then you should be okay with all groups. If you are not okay with the murder of any group of people, you should be consistent across the board. Vote no on Amendment 3, because Amendment 3 will make it a constitutional right for a woman to murder her child through the act of an assassin, through a clinician, through an abortionist. May we not be a people that is okay with this barbarism. We are called to love our neighbor as ourselves. That comes from the law of God, that comes from the Mosaic Law. A complete summary of the entirety of God's law is love God and love your neighbor as yourself. We are to love God and we are to love our neighbor. If you were being oppressed, if you were being mutilated and people were covering up the truth, would you not want someone to stand on a street corner and exposing the truth of that? That's what we are doing here today. There is a class of people, there is a group of people in our society that are being mutilated and oppressed, and that is being silenced. The truth will not be covered up anymore. We are exposing the truth of this evil, as it says in Ephesians 5:11. The people of God are to not partake in evil, but they are to expose that evil. And that's what this sign is. This sign exposes the truth of the evil of child sacrifice. What a barbaric thing society says that this is okay. Amendment 3 coming this November on the ballot. Amendment 3 is wanting to enshrine in our Constitution the murder of the most innocent. Vote no on Amendment 3. As it says in Isaiah 10, God has brought forth woes. Woe to those who decree iniquitous decrees. Woe to those who oppress. Woe to those who take advantage of the destitute. Woe to those that take advantage of the widow and the orphan. So not only those who make laws that are unjust, but also those that are in support of those unjust laws. May we not be a people that are okay with the slaughter of the innocent. May we not be a people that are okay with the unjustness of this act. This act is wicked. This act is evil. Innocent children, roughly 40 a day, just at one clinic. We preach the gospel and we plead over in Illinois as well. And on any given day, 40 children just at that one clinic, their lives are taken because the mother hates her child. May we not be a people that are okay with this unjust, with this wickedness, with this evil. God has said that we are to stand up for those that are destitute, to cry out for the voiceless, for those that cannot defend themselves, for the most vulnerable. And I say to you, this neighbor is the most vulnerable. May we cry out and stand up for our innocent preborn neighbor. Coming November, it's going to be on the ballot. Amendment 3. Amendment 3 will make it legal. It would enshrine into the Constitution for mother to murder her child. May we not be a people that are okay with the sacrifice of the innocent. This is the truth of the barbaric act of abortion. May we not be a people that are okay with this. And if you think the sign is grotesque, I think so too. I do not want to see this sign. If you no longer want to see us out here protesting against the evil barbarism, then work with us, stand with us, fight against the barbaric act of abortion. November, that is where your voice will be heard. Vote no on Amendment 3. We also want to seek to fully criminalize abortion in our state, in our nation. Until it is fully criminalized, we will be out here. If you're more disgusted about the picture than the actual act of abortion, do a self-evaluation. If you were being oppressed, would you not want someone standing up for you? If you were being oppressed, would you not want someone exposing? If you were being oppressed and that oppression was being covered up, would you not want someone standing on a street corner exposing the truth of that oppression? We have a people group today that are being oppressed. November 5th, it's going to be on the ballot. Amendment 3, vote no against it. Amendment 3 equals torture. It equals murder. It equals ripping limb from limb. Amendment 3 would enshrine in the Missouri Constitution. If you were to vote no, that enshrining would not be so. Let us not be a people that are okay, that are silent against this oppression. Even in this state, even if clinics are closed, moms can still order a pill with wicked malice in their hearts and murder their child through starvation and burning that child alive. Or just go across state lines 30 minutes away and have a hitman, an assassin, do it for her. And she is without guilt according to our laws. If she has wicked hatred in her heart against her preborn child, she is to be held responsible. May we bring forth equal rights and equal protection for our preborn neighbor. Oftentimes, silly arguments are brought forth to us. What do I know as a man? What do I know about a woman's body? I know that a woman's body is being mutilated, starved to death, burned to death in her mother's womb. May we not be a people that are complacent. May we not be a people that are silent. May we not be a people that just sit down and do nothing. May we be a people that stand up and cry out for the voiceless, stand up and cry out for the vulnerable, stand up and cry out for the destitute. This is what's going to happen if Amendment 3 passes November. This is the truth of the barbaric act of abortion. From the moment of conception, you cannot refute it theologically nor biologically. From the moment of conception, made in the image of God, human being, deserving of equal rights, deserving of equal protection. Yet we say in this nation, in this state, in this city today, that a certain group of people can be oppressed and without guilt to the oppressor. We say it is a righteous thing for mom to murder her child in the womb. But when it comes to a child outside the womb, we say it's evil. Why? Let's be consistent. If you're more upset at the sign than the actual act that the sign represents, you need to do a self-evaluation. May we not be a people that are okay with the barbaric act of child sacrifice. As it says in Leviticus 20, God has commanded his people, and not only his people, but those that visit the foreigner, the sojourner amongst the people. If any one of them do soever offer their child off to Moloch, to the idol. And that happens even today. Moms and dads are offering their children at the altar of self, at the altar of relationship, at the altar of finance, at the altar of career, at the altar of emotion, at the altar of selfishness. And we have a people that are silent. May we not be the people of history past that God has judged. May we not be a people of German history past or British or American history past that have othered people. That is what is happening today in our nation, in our state, in our city. There is a group of people that are being oppressed, and the oppressor is getting away with it. Why are you so callous? If you are more offended at what this sign is showing than the actual act, you need to do a self-evaluation. If this sign triggers you more than the actual act of abortion, you need to question your motives. You need to question your hearts. You need to question where you get your standard of morality. Coming this November, there will be a ballot initiative. It will be on the ballot. Amendment 3, vote no on Amendment 3. Amendment 3 equals murder. Amendment 3 equals this: the barbaric act of child sacrifice. That's what Amendment 3 represents. If you do not want the barbarism that this is showing, if you do not want that in our state, if you do not want that in our city, vote no on Amendment 3. We need to protect the most vulnerable amongst us. If you are for human rights, then be for the rights of the human in the womb. For all are made in the image of God from the moment of conception, made human. You cannot refute it biologically nor theologically. May we not be a people that are silent. May we not be a people that just sit down. May we not be a people that turn our heads. May we not be a people that pretend that this is not happening, because this is the truth of child sacrifice. May we not be complacent with this evil. May we not be okay with this barbarism. God has said that those that are complacent, those that are silent, those that turn their head, those that close their eyes against this, they are just as guilty as those that perform this barbarism. Listen, folks, coming the 5th of November, it will be on the ballot. This November, Amendment 3 is going to be on the ballot, and this is what Amendment 3 is bringing forth. Amendment 3 will bring forth the unjust killing of innocents. Hello, sir. Good to see you, brother. Glad you can come out. Okay. Well, I mean, if you want to hold the sign, you can please hold the sign. Yeah. I mean,
Amen. Abolish abortion.
yes, we need to abolish it, sir. Yes. Amen. I mean, you can hold this one if you like. I don't think that we have any more signs that can actually go. So, yeah. This is the truth of what's going to be brought forth this November. If you want to be against this barbarism, if you want to be against this evil, vote no on Amendment 3 coming this November. It will be on the ballots. This is the truth of the barbaric act of abortion. Ripping limb from limb, mutilization, brutalizing a child made in the image of God, human from the moment of conception. You cannot refute it theologically nor biologically. This is the truth. This is what those that hate God, this is what those want. They want this barbarism. May we not be for this barbaric, heinous act, this evil. If you are more upset at the image than the actual act, you need to do a self-evaluation. Glad you can come out, man. You want to take over some preaching, or you just want to?
I'm going to listen to you and
Okay. Yeah. As it says in Isaiah 10, God states many woes. Woe to those who decree iniquitous decrees. Woe to those that oppress the destitute. Woe to those that take advantage of the widow and of the orphan. But also not only those that bring forth those unjust laws, not only those that actually oppress the oppressed, not only those that take advantage of the needy, but also those that are quiet about it. If you know that it is happening, you are without excuse. If you say, I did not know, the fact of the matter is, it is plainly stated all around you. This is the image of the oppressed. We have a class of people, we have a group of people in our state, in our nation, in our city that are being oppressed every single day, and no one is saying anything about it. Where are you? We are called to stand up for those that cannot defend themselves. We are called to cry out for the voiceless. We are called to cry out for the most vulnerable. Yeah, I'm just waiting for that. May we not be a people that are okay with oppressing a group of people. As it says in Ephesians 5:11, that is why we are out here. Ephesians 5:11 tells the people of God, and not just the people of God, but everyone. We are not to partake in evil. Instead, we are supposed to expose the truth of that evil that is happening around us. As it says in Deuteronomy, I do believe Deuteronomy 3, it states that man should not live by bread alone, but man shall live by every word of God. He should cling to every word that comes out of the mouth of God. That doesn't just mean the people of God. It means man. It means mankind. Mankind is not to just live by bread alone, but they are to cling. They are to feast on every word that comes out of the mouth of God, that flows from the mind of God. And so we have a charge, we have a command today, Ephesians 5:11, not to partake in evil, but to expose the evil in our society, in our midst. You also got to come out. You also got to come out. This is the truth of the evil act of abortion. If this sign upsets you more, if this sign triggers you, if this ugly picture upsets you more than the actual act that this picture represents, than the actual act of the barbarism of abortion, then you need to do a self-evaluation. God has called us in Leviticus 20 that if any one of you, not just the people of the land, not just the natives of the land, but also those that visit, anyone that offers their child off to an idol, whether it be the idol of self, the idol of finances, the idol of relationships, the idol of career, if anyone offers their child off to any of those idols, that person deserves to die, because that child is made in the image of God from the moment of conception. You cannot deny it biologically. You cannot deny it theologically. From the moment of conception, made in the image of God, human. May we not be a people that are complacent with the oppression that is happening. Yeah, shut the F up. If you were being oppressed and that oppression was being silenced, if there were lies that were happening concerning your oppression, if your oppression was being covered up, would you not want someone on a street corner speaking up for you, holding a sign showing proof of your mutilization, proof of someone brutally beating you? If you were being oppressed, would you not want someone holding up and exposing the truth of that evil? That is what we are out here doing today. We are standing up for our neighbor, our preborn neighbor, our most vulnerable, the most destitute, the voiceless. God has called us to stand up and cry out for the vulnerable, to stand up and cry out for the voiceless. If you truly care about human rights, what about these humans? This is an ugly image. This is a grotesque picture. But if you are more triggered, if you are more upset at the picture than the actual act of abortion, you need to do a self-evaluation. God has called us to not be complicit. God has called us not to be silent. And not only those that do such things deserve death, as it says in Romans. Not only those that do such things deserve death, but those that are giving approval, those that are silent about it. For although they know God's decrees, that God demands righteousness, coming this November, it will be on the ballot. Amendment 3 will bring forth on the ballot enshrining in the Missouri Constitution to murder the child in the womb. It would make it a constitutional right for mom to murder her child in the womb. Amendment 3 equals murder. Amendment 3 equals torture. Amendment 3 equals mutilation. Amendment 3 equals ripping limb from limb, skull-crushing acts. May we not be complacent about this, people. May we not be okay with the othering of another group. Oh, man. Thank you.
God says, God is clear, that abortion is murder. And we should not allow for murder, and we should rescue those who are being led to the slaughter. In Ephesians chapter 5:11, he says, do not partake in evil, but expose evil. Vote no on Amendment 3. This is what we are voting for in our Missouri Constitution this year. This is what we're voting for. Amendment 3 will allow for all forms of abortion to take place. This is what we do not want. Vote no on Amendment 3. God says that it is murder. We know it is murder because we have His law written on our hearts. We are all without excuse. So therefore, we must do unto others as we would want us to be treated, what we would want others to treat us. And none of us, if this was happening to us, we would want people out here calling for other people to do what is right and to help.
Bless you, sir. Amen. coming this November. It will be on the ballot, Amendment 3. Amendment 3 will bring this into our state. Amendment 3 will bring forth the mutilization of the child in the womb. Amendment 3 will bring forth the torture of the child in the womb. May we not be complacent. May we not be silent. May we stand up against this heinous barbarism. If you do not want children to be brutally murdered, if you do not want children to be ripped limb from limb in the mother's womb, if you want to protect children, vote no on Amendment 3. God has called his people, God has called everyone in Ephesians 5:11 to stand up for those that cannot defend themselves, to expose the evil that is happening in our nation. We are not to partake in evil. Exposing the evil that is happening in our surroundings means that we are to stand up and cry out for the voiceless, stand up and cry out for the oppressed. If you were being oppressed and that oppression was being covered up, would you not want someone on a street corner holding a sign showing proof of your oppression? That someone was actually bringing oppression down upon you? Would you not want someone standing on the street corner on your behalf? If you're more triggered, if you're more upset at the actual picture than what the picture represents, which is the heinous act, the evil act of abortion, if you are more upset at the picture, you need to do a self-evaluation. Because this is the truth of abortion. This is the truth of barbarism. This is what Amendment 3 is wanting to bring forth. If there is an affirmation of Amendment 3 coming this November, this is what's going to happen to our preborn neighbor. Amendment 3 coming this November on the ballot will bring forth the brutal murder, the torture, the ripping limb from limb of our preborn neighbor. It would also bring forth the possibility of partial birth abortions. A partial birth abortion is when the child is partially birthed and then ripping of limb from limb, the skull being crushed. If you say that the child has value after the child is born, then you should still be against Amendment 3. Because Amendment 3 will bring forth partial and even possibly after-birth abortions. We are not to stand for the wickedness of unequal weights and measures. We are not to stand for the wickedness of unrighteous laws. In Isaiah 10, God brings forth woes. Woe to those who decree iniquitous decrees. Woe to those that bring forth unjust laws. Woe to those that oppress the needy. Woe to those that take advantage of the widow and of the orphan, of the fatherless, of the most vulnerable amongst us. May we not be a people that take advantage of the most vulnerable. a nation that just repeats history, because in British history and American history past, and even German history past, there was a group of people that were dehumanized. There was a group of people that were othered. There were a group of people that were called subhuman. And that is exactly what is happening today in our nation, in our state, in our city. If you do not want the barbarism of abortion, the ripping of limb from limb, the crushing of skulls of the child in the child's mother's womb, if you do not want that, this November, vote no on Amendment 3. Amendment 3 equals murder. Amendment 3 equals torture, ripping limb from limb. Amendment 3 equals child sacrifice. When you exchange one thing for something else because you view the other thing more valuable, you are sacrificing the less valuable. But in this case, you have a sacrifice of the most valuable. A human being is more valuable than a career, than a relationship, than your emotions. Just because you're not feeling it today does not give you the right to murder someone else. Just because you're having a hard day at work does not give you the right to murder someone else. Just because you're in a bad relationship does not give you the right to murder someone else. May we not be a people that are silent. May we not be a people that just sit down on our hands and do nothing for the most innocent. If you were being oppressed, wouldn't you want someone standing on a street corner on your behalf? If your oppression was being covered up,